In a situation where maybe female partner and your mother male partner, in terms of financial responsibility, how do you think that should be shared?
Do you believe in 50-50 or a man does more or if whoever earns more should do more?
Okay, so well,
The average Nigerian graduate spends their first 2 years after university either unemployed or earning less than 100,000 naira a year. Yet, we'll discuss our love lives before we admit we are struggling financially.
On this episode, we spotlight with Ivy by having a conversation that make people scream. The money talks that everyone avoids but desperately needs. We're tackling financial stress, money trauma, and all the cash flow confessions that are keeping Nigerians up at night.
From NYSC allowances that can't cover transport to work, to credit facilities destroying lives, from trying to save for rent in Lagos on an entry-level salary, to figuring out how investing when the naira keeps fluctuating.
These financial realities are more than what we're covering on today's episode of Spotlight with Ivy. I am Omobola Akinde.
And I'm
So tell me, between Ghanaian jollof rice and Nigerian jollof rice, which one do you think is better? Don't tell me because you're in Nigeria.
So I've actually tried both, and I remember when I was in school, the conversation was between my friend and I. We actually did like this, so they were Ghanaian, and we actually did like this competition to figure out which was better. And sorry, I'll leave that answer to our audience to answer.
Okay, but on a serious note, why do you think people will post about their lovely outfits on Instagram, or they're wearing a Gucci bag, carrying a Gucci bag, or they went to the best restaurant, but they will not put it that, I just bought treasury bills.
The thought of it even makes me laugh. Nobody ever wants. I think that's also the thing of nobody wants another person to know where they're making it. It's like sort of like if you think you're sort of like hiding your money secrets, and that's part of the reason they're having this conversation. And for men specifically, there's this pressure added. Nigerian culture tells men they're supposed to be a certain way, they're supposed to be violent, they're supposed to send money home, they're supposed to have it all figured out financially. But most of the time, they're still just trying to struggle to pay rent. Lagos or wherever you're staying. That's it.
Whether it's a myth that financial success is just about hustling harder, or the reality that even bank workers are doing side businesses to meet end needs.
Well, thankfully, our guests will be able to shed more light on it, especially in our Nigerian context and even the world around them generally. So, take a look.
Welcome back to the show. With us today is Mr. Peters Ola Awumolo, a seasoned finance and business leader. He's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and holds a degree in theology from Central Christian University, USA. With a decade of experience spanning finance, operations, and business leadership, he currently leads Briscoe Properties Limited as head of business. Welcome.
Welcome to the Spotlight with Ivy, sir.
thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If your bank account could be a WhatsApp message, what would it say about your spending habits?
Well, okay. It will speak more about,
Just give us like 2 lines you write in that explicitly if you're describing your spending habits.
I'll call it, capital intensive.
Why?
Well, because against what mine, even in the time, right? I think I'm a bit more prone to a bit of investment capital based than current. Decisively, deliberate. It's not friendly. It's not easy. It's not extremely too pleasing. But I know that at the end of the day, it's part of the work. That's what I would.
So you take big risks. you have a large risk appetite.
But it's always profiting. It's in profit, right? I mean, there are other sides to it. But again, when you weigh it, better side of the risk taking has been much more better than.
So did you grow your appetite or did you learn?
Well, I think a mixture of the two, right? A mixture of the two. I was privileged in my younger days to see some people at a bit of far distance. They do not know I was watching them, but I'm privileged to see people that I like. I saw the way they live their life, right? They never read books. It's not about reading their books. Just studying someone from afar. Look at how he's living his life. I seem to like it. A bit at the age of like 18, 20, right? Growing up. And so it's about studying people, liking what we come, and quietly following them from afar, right? Yes. I can copy things. I mean, you may not know I'm watching you. If I like you, I like what I've become like you. I try to study what you do. Try to do it.
Have you ever walked into anyone at all?
Oh yes. I think I did that more when I grew up older. In my younger days, it was more from afar. I recently, a few years back, then I walk up to people at conferences and people like and ask questions and follow with their lifestyle.
Nice. So let's talk about something that affects most relationships. We realize that in most relationships, people are always afraid to talk about money. Like, they would, especially men, we hear stories of men not being transparent or open with their spouses about actually. So you hear them say, oh, I'm broke. But how much do you really earn monthly? How much do you have? What strategies are you employing to ensure that this is coming out? Why do people shy, especially men, from being very open and honest about money conversations?
Well, no, I think, what you're saying is quite a reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a function of, because I wonder if you are an average income earner. I wonder what it is that you are keeping away, right? So if you are very wealthy, I mean, that you know that demands can be made on that resources, saying that, how can you say you can't afford it? I mean, you just got this money the other day and all that. Maybe I can understand why you are a bit discreet and you don't want to open up, right? Not saying that it's the right way to go. I'm just saying the reason behind it. So, but if you are, just growing up financially, so there is nothing to like. Rather disclose what it is. Yeah, so that you know how we are spending what is there. Because at the end of the day, it's 150, by 10 it's 150, so we know what we are spending. But if it's maybe it's 5 million, you are saying say that 5 million, maybe you should have spent. I mean, allocate these resources and beyond what it's not the way to go, because apparently there are benefits and it's good to disclose. I mean, for all the benefit that it is. But I'm saying, what is the reason? Why do people conceal that information? Okay, so it could be that you're afraid that, I tell her this whole amount, you have apportioned everything for me, because what she's thinking may be different from what you are thinking. So let me tell you this. In my place of work, when you bring the payroll to the finance people, when they prepare it, and they bring it to any supervising officer to sign, we have about 50 people. When he takes that, it's a default, when he takes that document, the first line he's looking at his own. Well, meanwhile, he's supposed to check, is this thing correct? He checks his name and see 350. So he says, well, if my 350 is correct, now, why is he checking? In his mind, he has spent that 350. As I said, he has allocated, 50,000, 100,000. So maybe, again, when we are married, we are two. Maybe the fear of, you say you didn't have money last month, okay. Another 350 is coming next month. This is what we should use it for. By the way, how much is your transport that you are saying you can? She has calculated everything. And so it's your readiness to be vulnerable, to be open, knowing fully well at the end of it. I think my own thing, at the end of it, if we disclose this thing, when it hits zero, it's zero. Nothing will happen. So why not let's disclose it? Well, again, I don't know. Maybe by the time I get in billions. Maybe I won't disclose everything and say, well, since all your needs
Are you
are
trying
met.
to say you're not billions yet?
Well, I'm not say that very clearly, right? But again, so maybe that's the reason. But a default intelligence can say to you that I think the way to go to disclose, especially to your partner, right? So that you can't be on the same. So if it's not the extent, if you are planning and looking to the future for it, you know which, so that you don't think I have a clue. That would be next.
So in a situation where maybe female partner, anyone male partner, in terms of financial responsibility, how do you think that should be shared?
Do you believe in 50-50 or a man does more or if the other ends more should do more?
Okay, so well, some principle will come into this, but again, the default alignment that you are this thing together, right? So you're saying the woman ends more than man. I think they need to come together, fairly share responsibilities. However,
But what's fair?
so I think what's fair is relative. It's a function of what's sensitive. Right. Why kill yourself? If your wife earns triple of what you why would you say you want to? You can't. You don't even have the capacity. And you won't agree to work together, right? And these are a bit what we call defiant to the rule. The basic rule that we see popularly if the man is earning more, right? It's the head and all that comes. But there are situations where the woman earns better. If you don't want to struggle, bring it to the table. However, the man must continue to push to up that game. It is good for your mental health. It's good for your ego, which is part of the essence of living. That's how God has created. It's good so that you don't just assume that well they've said they can bring it to the table. You bring something small and you are not even consciously, working towards increasing it, right? I mean, I think if a woman sees what you are doing, deliberate actions, and in fact, she might even be the one to encourage you. I know you're giving to me, but don't worry. That's why we have this too. I need to support you, right? Be deliberate that you want growth. Let's see you that you are taking steps towards growth. In the meantime, the Lord has blessed your wife, your partner, and she's, supporting. That degree of support, it varies. I mean, it can support 70%, it can support 60%, it can support 50%. It's based on the present capacity. And I think I will encourage and I look forward to people supporting joyfully, happily, so that whatever spending you are making, you are glad at doing it. But again, not an excuse for the man to be laid back and saying, well, I mean, since my wife has, at the end of the day, it's a short-run thing. In the long run, it will mess you up. It will mess you up, right? So I don't want to go with the rule of saying, oh, whatever it is, he should pay the house rent. He should this. Well, it's a good thought. But again, the house rent may not be payable by the resources that he has. Maybe the man wants to live in BI, in Lekki. His house rent, his own capacity can do whether in Solo or any other place, right? They need to come together and have a discussion around it. Provided that the woman will also honor him with whatever she's doing. I mean, that plays upon that. Yes, I've decided to follow you in the path that you want, right? But be sure that your honor and your ego will not be distorted, right? So that's where a man will say, no. Even if it's Ajibule I'm living, that's where I can afford. You have to come there. I think some of those things need to be sorted out even before marriage. But again, you had to sort it out before marriage at the time that the man's resources was higher than the woman. But they settled down in marriage and everything changed. And God answered their prayers as it were. So what happens? Again, maybe those are the conversations, the reality that you should have. Think about it. If you have a man, and maybe some of the things I'm sharing are a bit of idea, and I will talk about reality too. If you have a man who has been, the husband who has been very, accommodating, nice to you, responsible, in the days that maybe Abby, if anything changes and God blesses you and you have more, I think you should respond in that same way. I hear people talk about old age where a woman will leave the man and go and sit with the children, it's moving to another marriage.
It's fine.
I hear all manner of things like that, but I've not gotten to that. I'm not 70, right? But I'm saying that somewhere, maybe not a perfect response, but somewhere in the journey, we need to look critically at what we sow. Somewhere. It may not be 100%, but just check out. Because what we now see is the fruits. We don't know about their journey. We don't know about when it was my turn, I was strong, I could decide, I could go out, I could enjoy my life, I could leave the family, and all that, and maybe she endured and all that. There's no one rule, I'm just saying. So before we say, why is this happening? Let's check back. How did we get here? What, in the days when you were strong, in the days when you were the acting man, in the days where you were the deciding factor, taking the shot, how did you deal with this woman? How did you, now, maybe the thing now, because nature will also come into play, right? It won't always be like this. So what did you do when, in those days? So maybe we should check. Well, the faith that I believe in says that whatsoever a man sow, he will reap. I mean, that's what I believe.
Okay. All right, so let me ask you something. Have you ever been in debt?
Yes.
Okay. So, you know that the average Nigerian reality is that there's a lot of bills to pay, and the average income does not have, maybe someone that comes out from NYC probably doesn't have a job or is earning less than 100K. How much with 100K you want to do in current trends? And so people take out loans to pay school fees, to do, just to say, let this end in it, but then keep piling up, and there's just this cycle. How do you think someone can come out of that cycle?
How do you do it?
The way you're laughing like you have a personal experience.
It was when you said circle. But I wish it didn't get to circle. When it gets to circle, I don't know. Okay, so the first question was, I mean, debt is not bad. It's part of the way to build wealth. There's a lot of discipline, conscious discipline, to the object of what the debt is financing. What is it financing? Is it financing a lifestyle? Is it financing an asset? Is it financing a future? Right? Talk about investment, right? With all sense of humility, the few debts that I had done was financing not a lifestyle, right? That, such a debt that you can even be proud of the fact that you are winning, right? Because you know like what you used it for. Either your children's school fees, right? And depending on the timing when your own structured cash flow is coming, right? Maybe I'm expecting the phone in February, maybe an housing allowance, and I know that I need to use it to pay this. So if I get an access to a quick loan, I can use it for that, right? So the comfort will be in what you are using it to finance. But the moment it gets to what you call the cycle, an uncomfortable position, it will never come easy. Whatever you are going to do to stop a cycle, right, like a flood, it must be very decisive. It won't come like a simple rule, just no. It must be. It will come with a sacrifice because you are, so to speak, you are eating. I don't want to call it your harvest earlier, right? So you must know what you're going to give up decisively to stop it. Maybe the lesson that you have learned from the experience of that debt that was not pleasing. The blessing is that you are happy that you found yourself in this state. You should institutionalize that pain. So that becomes a reminder that whatever price you are doing, when I mean price, I mean whatever you need to sell, whatever you need to do, how much you need to work, the resources you need to use to pay down this thing, you will remind yourself that you don't want to get into it again. So it's not going to be one rule that, okay, do that. Depending on how deep you are. If you are very deep, you need a very drastic action. Either you need to fling another asset to pay down, you need to refinance it, you need to appeal to people to even contribute whatever you need to do. At that point, maybe you need to let go shake, because I mean, you're talking of circle now. You are in something that you want to come out of, right? But again, debt is part of wealth creation, provided you know what you are doing with it, provided you can cast it to buy, as it were, a future from today. I mean, you'll be glad at what you do with it. You look back at what you do. That a bit of discipline and being responsible.
What's your take on budgeting? Do you think it's limiting, or do you think it's worth?
Thank you. I like that question.
Let me rephrase the question. Do you think it's freedom or it's bondage?
Okay, so because I practice it, so and again I try to take a balance. I'll tell you a story of my wife. So my wife says to me, from the day we got married, I have something I call my Excel. If I say, Chloe, come and see my Excel. My Excel is where I budget my income and allocate what I want to do. So from the faith that we practice as Christian, I know that she would at times tell me that, this budgeting is restricting what can be done. I know that when you put yourself into this thing without saying, see, this is my salary, this is that you're able to do so many things. And in fairness, from what I've seen in my life, it happens. But again, I can't overrule the blessing of that budget, right? To help me conceptualize my cash inflow and allocate it to what I want to do. So I think this is the blessing. And this is what, at the beginning of my journey, it was just very strict. This is 200,000 and then this is where it's going to go. And so if you ask for anything that I've not captured, it cannot be attended to. We may have to wait till next month on, or audit how important it is. I have options and see. And again, I'll continue to flag the resources that we are planning on. To my wife. I like what you have said. It's a nice thing. We need to do this for our mother. We need to do, but let's bring it back to these resources. But again, as I grew older, I realized that budgeting is good. But what I now do, I enlist all my dreams, everything that I want to become, everything I wish I had money to outlay. I write everything this time around. So my outflow is very detailed, right? My inflow, which is what I know that I can plan with, I write here also. In most cases, the outflow is always more than what I know as of today. But seeing the possibility that I'm going to incur these expenses, I'm going to do this investment, I'm going to do this project, glaring at me on that Excel sheet, there's a way it, for the lack of better, maybe miraculously open up some things. It's as if I've created empty pots, as it were, for oil to be poured into. So I do not deny all these things I want to do, even though presently I may not have the resources to do it from what I could think in my mind. But I agree. I'm not rejecting it because I know I need it. So I agree about it. I put it on my Excel sheet that I'm going to do this. I put it there. The inflow that supports it may be limited, but I've noticed that over time, within 6 months, something happens. And when that inflow, either from side hustle, from extra income, from bonus, when it comes in, already there's a place that is coming to take it up, right? So it's a good thing to budget, but again, you shouldn't allow it where it now rises to an offense. You are critical, you are striving with the wife. No, it's not there. Maybe you should even enjoy the mentioning of the things that you need to do that you don't have the finance for. Just even talk about it and enjoy talking about it. If there's anything like that, just talk about it freely. By the time we move to our new house, just talk about it. Say, where do you want to see money for new house? No, don't be critical. Just say it freely first, so that maybe the forces of nature will attract it to you and things will turn out well. So to answer that in specific, budgeting is good. It could form a bit of constraint, but if you use it very well, you can also have some level of freedom.
So in this current Nigerian reality, there is always something to spend.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
And before you decide that, I want to start saving for, let's say, I have emergency funds. Then suddenly fuel has increased from 150 to 1,000 naira. And then your salary has not increased. How do you really have savings and emergency funds with our current
reality? You know, this current reality is it's been there, just now current. That reality has always been there. So what do I mean? I think maybe I saw a video some years ago, maybe in 1980, and people were screaming and you know, agitating that prices of things are up. And you wonder if you say prices of things are up in 1980 compared to what will you say? It will always be a challenging time everywhere in the world.
So you can never get.
It can't. Fairly speaking, it can't. It wasn't better in those days, based on what they said. It wasn't better. So it's a function of where we are and what we need to do. Basically, the rule says from whatever you have. And it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. It works for you if you take it personal. You have all reasons to explain it out and tell us what are you talking about. But you explain it out, you find yourself where you belong. But it's a personal discipline that whatever you have, 70,000, 80,000. You see, I think finance is backed, the financial position of people, I think it's backed by a philosophy that is behind, what we call mindset, the way they think, the way they look at things. So, show a person who has the philosophy that whatever I earn, there must be a savings. You hear him earn 100,000, he's saving 20,000. That 20,000 is what you're going to use for your makeup, for your daily. To you, it's nothing. But to him, that is the beginning. Because I'm earning 100. I should be able to save 20. Don't despise my saving. Whatever it is, yes, may not mean anything to you. But that is what it is to me. So when I get 1 million, there are people who earn 1 million who can save anything. They just cry because they have. It's a personal philosophy and personal discipline. I think people must have said, was it Tony Elumen said, if you can't save and invest in 100,000 salary, you won't do it for 10 years. You will have reasons not to do it. You will explain it. So, how do you describe the situation? Current reality. In a current reality that is very current, we just need to imbibe that culture of savings. You see, whatever you don't spend remains with you. It remains with you. It won't go anywhere. If you keep some cash in a purse and you forgot it, somehow, 3 months time, it will be there. All your needs are still there. You needed money for this, but the money was somewhere you didn't know. In 3 months time, if you stumble on that wallet, you will see the money there. It won't fly to be there. So if we have that fairly young one, if you have that mindset that if I don't spend it, it belongs to me. It's not going anywhere. Maybe just rejoice in the fact that this money is growing from 20,000 to 25,000 to 30,000. Just rejoice. Just be happy. Make yourself happy when you look at it. Behold it and be happy. Would you rather want your account to be zero? Behold it, just the same way I was talking about you and your spouse, beholding your dreams of what you want to become and just rejoicing over it. You should be able to rejoice over a savings of 10,000. Rejoice when it becomes 40,000. And maybe have that goal that someday is going to become 100,000. Without that personal discipline and thought process, you won't get anything. So we just need to inculcate it into our lifestyle.
So if you had a millionaire now, what would
Now,
Aside from, your shares.
you're going to help me with that question. Aside from,
because I know that you have your basic needs, like things you allocate money for. Or if maybe a free 1 million, there's nothing like free money. Maybe like 1 million naira that you do. It's very easy for you to sell and invest. You get. But aside from that, what would you do?
Okay, well, to be frank with you, just not like a question for the media, to be sincere with you. So I have projects I'm doing. So 1 million matters. If I get extra 1 million, it's going to that project, right? About 60%.
Okay, let's do 1 billion.
1 billion, now you're talking. Okay, 1 billion, I'll divide it, right? A portion of that 1 billion is going to real estate, maybe like 50%. 25% will go into an active business, right? Active business, trading, active business, right? And remaining 25% can go into maybe treasury bills, financial instrument, right? But at least I want to. I don't just. You see, that 25% that's going to active business will allow me to be able to employ me, allow me to be able to create more value. In fact, it may even be more than that, right? If I make money, because now you're mentioning a very big.
So you're not buying Chevrolet or
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Are you sure?
It has never worked.
So for you, that money is seed. It's not exactly something.
You see.
Wow.
You see, whichever way it comes, either it came through my sweat, but the way you sounded like this is as if you want to give me from this.
No,
I receive it.
amen. Because if we can give you that, then that means there's so much.
I receive it. So if it's coming as a bonus, I should think through and use it very well. Because again, these bonuses, this extra income, this sudden inflow, they don't come every day, right? They don't come every day. I mean, so it makes me remember the story in the Bible that talks about the 7 years of abundance that preceded the 7 years of famine. I think that's the law. And I mean, he was even saying it to a non-believing king. It was this is basically is too dream you have. Nothing will change this thing. The only thing we can apply is wisdom. How we're going to manage it. It is established. 7 years of abundance will come. 7 years of famine will come. And this rule applies to a lot to nations, to individuals. Somehow you find out in your life that there's a time that you had. You may not notice when it came. You may miss the timing that you thought was just part of life. But that is your own 7 years of abundance that should make good use of it as an opportunity. You want to invest, you want to find into the future, you want to do all that. Because when another 7 years of famine will come, it's not a cost year, it's part of the journey. It's a beautiful thing. Now, when wisdom is now applied, it becomes beautiful. When Joseph applied wisdom, it became beautiful. But if that wisdom was not, you'd be costing what a bad time. It's just part of life. It's the cycle. So in your active days from 25 maybe to 60 active years, you can go everywhere, you can do all those things. It won't always be like that. You prayed for long life, and He gave you long life. Now, long life has become a curse because you are 70 now. It won't be like this. The things you could do before you, naturally, you will not be able to do it, right? That's the flow of life. So, in the years of abundance, it will be sufficient to take care of you at the moment. But you will know that this thing that I have can take care of me much more than the moment. And that's where the tendency for wastage will come. That's the natural default. But it is you that must consciously say, this money I'm getting is beyond just to feed me and feed my family. And it won't be like that forever. So carry it into the future. Deliberately, intentionally.
Can we talk about the discipline of doing this, the discipline of money?
Yeah.
When there are realities, how do you stay grounded in that discipline when you are looking at your rent facing you?
Okay, so your rent is part of
even small.
your rent.
Maybe in sickness, but there's some things that that someone doesn't even plan for, and then life just happens. That's all grounded.
Sickness is maybe should give another example.
Well, I'm just even saying, because the truth is, no matter how much you have, God forbid, sickness is something that just can take all somebody's finances from person. Do you understand? So, and you've done that entire process of building, keeping, accumulating, and then boom, back. Do you understand? So, how do you stay grounded? Let me use this. How do you stay grounded when you have reality?
In fact, for the sickness you mentioned, I can respond a bit to that. Those who survive sickness, terrible sickness, with the grace of God and from finance by their resources, go and check them. They are grateful that they're saved. They even see their survival as the result of their discipline in years back. So whatever life they are living, money is now valueless. They thank God that they are able to get their life back because they even have the resources to fall back on. So again, whichever way, it's still part of it. You never plan to be sick, but something happened, a child needs and a surgery, whatever, that you have the resources to attend to it is part of what we are talking about. There'll be a lot of fulfillment as much as this is not what you plan for, but deep inside of you, you'll be thankful to God that I can even afford to do this thing. At that point, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your spouse, yourself, your health, your children. You want to do it. So even that worst case scenario is still part of it, right? But again, for better things, talking about you are tempted to go for a party now, change your house and all that. I think it's a balance. You also must also reward yourself again. So let there be a balance. You saved for a purpose. Why did you save? I mean, there must be a goal towards it. If you're just saving and if you're saving without a goal, then you can wake up one day and say, well, since there's no goal, this money is just there. But there's a goal. If there's something you said, 1 million, and you have 420, except you're under a spell. Why would you? So discipline comes there. You have a goal. You have something that you've written at that you want to achieve. You see people who set out like that. They are so humble. They can ask you for something, what they can afford. They will ask you. They will not be in a haste to pay your bills. You want to go and eat at the restaurant you went out for. They will be like, let's share this bill. Let's share. Therefore, let's share this bill. He's not ashamed to share it. He's not trying to impress anybody because he has a goal. I think the beginning is a goal. If you have something that you are pursuing and you have not gotten there, the moment you get there, there may be a sense of relief. That, okay, at least I've gotten the 1 million. Let me now take out. Let me even treat myself and all that. Okay, let me take you out and all that. It happens because you feel that you have hit the goal. But if you have not done, if you have except you have a goal, there's nothing. You're just keeping it. So if you keep it, it's like a free flow. You keep it for nothing, and something will come and you say, well, "Let me attend." But if there's a goal, you will discipline yourself. You discipline yourself.
So, I think we'll ask one more question because of time. There is this thing of hustling, get a side hustle, get a side gig, whatever. Almost everybody now has two sources of income, three sources of income. Is that really, really a potent strategy to building wealth? What do you think is really the strategy to build wealth? I say again, according to reality.
I like that current reality. I think you've said it all, but again, maybe just for the purpose of this question, there are one area that is germane is the place of investing with that reality of compounding your interest, wherein you invest a principal, the interest is being reinvested, and the interest is generating interest. That becomes compound interest, right? I think the challenge, before going into that hustling, the challenge that we can all easily despise small things. People don't despise big things, right? So, a few minutes ago, you told me about 1 billion. Oh, 1 billion. I have a you don't have a plan 1 billion. You don't have a plan 1 billion. So, if you don't despise the little, okay, I'm saving 50,000. What is the interest? Is it 15% per annum? Calculate it. Leave it there for 20 years, for 10 years. You can't imagine what it turns out to be. I understand another school of thought will say, well, what's the value of that money in the future and all that with time value of money and maybe inflation and all that. But that's a different discussion. If you consider inflation, you will not say, so do whatever I need to do. Just do it. We're all here together. So just do it, right? So talk about side hustle. It's the way to, right? So you need to have several streams of income that you can efficiently and excellently administer. I mean, because you don't want to be at best at one and mess up other ones. Because at the end of the day, we talk about side hustle, you're talking about creating value. You'll be rendering services for other people. So I don't want your service to me, if you're a dry cleaner, your service to me should be awkward because you have another job you are doing. So be sure that excellence is part of it. Don't overstretch yourself, right? But it's just the way to go. It's just the way to go. You must have, not at the detriment of your primary assignment or primary job, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing well because you're doing side hustle, it will backfire, right? You must be able to, coordinate it very well. Maybe put structures and processes around it. Maybe 2 for now. Those one are established and balanced. Extend it to 1 more. You can maybe 3, right? I don't know about 6, 7. Well, depending on if you have structures around it, it's the way to go. There's no doubt about that. If not, you will not be able to. For whatever you earn, it's the way your other giftings, your other talents, you can speak, you can talk, you can sing, you can record, you can do media, you can do IT. I mean, just look for things that can bring a residual income. Now, part of not despising is to say, well, how much am I getting from this? For whatever you are getting, so far it's more than zero. So far, the cost of it is less than the revenue. So you have a margin, you have a contribution. It's bringing something. Even if it's just going to attend to your recharge card and to your internet bill in your house, take that away from whatever you have got. And again, see, we just need to also buckle up this also, because the basic need of our life, they are there. You need internet. You need data to call. You need to pay for water. You need to pay for this. To an extent, you can cut down on some things. But again, you desire a good life. If you desire it, work up. Rise it up. Hustle more. Look for additional things that you can do. Right? Again, in looking for it, you may need to first learn it. So don't despise the process of acquiring the skill. If you look forward to the future, you know that I'm going to spend 3 months to acquire the skill. It's going to pay me for next 3-5 years. Whatever you have gotten cannot be taken away. So appreciate it from the seed time, which is acquiring that knowledge, acquiring that skill, and the harvest will come. We celebrate harvest in this part of the world. We clap it, we make noise around it, but we rarely find out what is the work behind this harvest.
Last question. Speaking of work, how do you know when to transit from maybe a job that you've been doing to a side also that looks like it may have a potential?
Okay, well, I think that's a bit complex because we are talking about people's life, and there's no one group that can fit all, right? Some people, it will even come through crisis, what appears like a bit of darkness, right? Where other people will cry and think this is meant for evil, this is horrible and all that. But some will, with a lighted heart, right, will see light in that darkness. So some people transit from what we'll call crisis. I mean, they understand this thing is happening and they'll just move. Some transit from being able to locate an opportunity, right, that they can see. And it won't come easy because you have an assurance of what you are doing now, right? Whatever it is, you are getting something from here and you want to move into something bigger that does not appear big at the beginning, right? You may feel a bit secured in where you are now. But again, if you are the type who have the eyes for opportunities, right? Notwithstanding how it looks today, you're able to jump into it. But there are people who blend it with a lot of wisdom, try to start a bit with that side hustle. The only thing I like to speak on is to say, ensure that your side hustle is not conflicting, like competing with your primary place. I mean, where you are earning salary or income. I mean, that would be, for my own faith, that would be a bit of cost because you are not, I mean, you shouldn't be competing with them. You are doing something in a space that they are not presently in. So you're an accountant and you are doing a side hustle in your house of dry cleaning. Maybe your spouse is around to do that. You come at night to iron what they have washed. I mean, your own company is not in that line, so it's a completely different thing. You can even boldly say to them, I mean, what's happening here? Well, I do other things. You can boldly share what you're doing. You shouldn't be competing. If you want to compete, no problem, step out so that there are no offenses. Step out. If you need some capital, save towards it. Be disciplined about the amount you want to generate from your primary income. As soon as you hit that paper, you can pull out so that you have the blessing of that place and step.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
There's one question I would like to ask most of our guests. What's one quote about money that sounds like it makes sense, but it's trash?
That sounds like it makes sense, but it's trash. Maybe that's the question that I'm not going to pick almost now. Not to make sense, but it's trash.
Money doesn't grow a tree.
Okay, like that, right?
Something like that.
Like that, right?
Well, it doesn't really work.
I will just give me that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We've enjoyed your session so much. And thank you to all our viewers and our partners. I want to say thank you to our partners, Own That In, Aid Solutions, Tribe, Harris Center, Take Two, Danover Creative, Jingler Nation Productions, Crystal Productions, and Parable Creative. Thank you so much, and until next time, we'll see you on the next episode.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys.
Bye-bye.